Tonight on CTV News at 6, Council Accountability. New powers to deal with bad behavior by municipal leaders.
Our government felt it was necessary to bring in this new tool that will prevent abuses in the future.
A home builder offers to cover mortgage payments for a year.
The slower paced market is actually great for buyers because it gives them a little more time to think, to choose.
And play ball. The effect of the Blue Jays World Series run on local baseball registration.
I was shocked because I know in years past, they've sometimes struggled to get enough teams.
Temperatures climbing back above zero tomorrow. But there is some more cool air and more snow after that.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. New provincial legislation targets bad behavior from city councils. The Municipal Affairs Minister presented proposed changes today at a conference for Alberta's cities and towns. As Connor Hogg tells us, the legislation is welcome, but it's not the only issue councils need to tackle.
At a gathering of Alberta's municipal leaders in Edmonton, the UCP revealed changes to the province's Municipal Government Act.
Our government felt it was necessary to bring in this new tool that will prevent abuses in the future.
Municipal Affairs Minister Dan Williams says the new rules will create guidelines and impartial third-party investigators to discipline local leaders who don't act with integrity and professionalism. This comes after problems on councils in several cities and towns. Williams won't say if these changes would have helped in those situations. He does say the rules won't be weaponized in the way some in his government have characterized the public's use of its Recall Act this year.
We want to see appeals and these sorts of complaints made and only escalated when it's substantive, not when it's a continuation of a difference of political opinion.
NDP leader Naheed Nenshi likes the idea of consequences for councillors who misbehave, as long as municipalities are involved.
There do have to be consequences, but these have to be ones that are negotiated and arranged with the municipalities.
We are in a really complex environment these days where there are very real challenges that Albertans are facing in terms of affordability, sometimes around safety. At the same time, there's real opportunity in this province.
Municipalities are also facing other challenges. Leaders raised property tax increases, costs of the provincial police funding model, running elections without electronic tabulators, as well as the financial viability of some municipalities that are struggling.
I appreciate that municipalities are challenged right now. So are we as a province. That's the nature of the fiscal situation we're in. I want to be there as a province, but I will not hide from the conversation around viability.
Williams says proposed councillor conduct amendments will be tabled soon and that municipalities will be part of conversations determining what actions will be worthy of sanctions. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
Alberta is doing its part to remove interprovincial trade barriers in the face of a strained relationship with the United States. New legislation introduced today aims to make good on an agreement all provinces and territories signed with Ottawa last year. The Interprovincial Trade Mutual Recognition Act will allow provinces to recognize each other's regulations on most goods, avoiding duplicate inspections and other requirements. The agreement does not apply to alcohol, cannabis, food, livestock, tobacco, or plants. The province believes industries like oil and gas, logging, and fertilizer production will benefit the most. Trade Minister Joseph Scow says simplifying the rules will make it easier for businesses of all types to access new markets across Canada.
There are different rules for each of those provinces, and that is so confusing and very difficult to navigate that some businesses will just throw their hands up and say, what's the point? We'll just stick to Alberta, stick to the market we know. This is creating a level playing field across Canada.
Provinces can maintain their own restrictions on goods involving health and safety. Alberta will keep its own rules in place for products including pesticides, plumbing equipment, and gift cards which cannot expire in our province. The Free Trade Pact starts June 30th. Alberta's NDP leader is accusing the UCP government of trying to change electoral boundaries to benefit its party. In its final report, the majority of the Electoral Boundaries Commission recommended 1 new seat in the legislature for Edmonton and 2 for Calgary. The additions come mostly at the expense of less populated rural areas. The report also contains a minority opinion. It similarly recommended more seats in Edmonton and Calgary. It also suggested more than a dozen new hybrid ridings to bring rural and urban voters together.
They wanted to gerrymander. They take all of their cues from the Trump Republicans in the U.S., and they wanted to be like Texas. And that minority report, it must be said, was written by the two UCP appointees to this commission. They thought they had the majority on the commission. As it turns out, the majority report was not this gerrymandering, and it's nuts.
The commission chair calls the minority report unconstitutional and is questioning the motivation. The Legislative Assembly has the power to implement the majority report in full or with amendments. Former Alberta Premier Jason Kenney is getting ready to debate Alberta separatism. Kenney and pro-separatist Keith Wilson will go head-to-head in 2 debates in May, one in Edmonton, one in Calgary. Kenney has been an outspoken critic of Alberta's separatist movement. Wilson is a St. Albert lawyer who is in favor of Alberta separating from Confederation. A petition on Alberta's separation was launched in January. Organizers have until May 2nd to gather nearly 178,000 signatures to push the issue forward. One CTV political analyst is commending Kenney for agreeing to do the debate.
I actually think what Jason Kenney's doing is quite admirable, because he is putting his name, his reputation, his history as a successful political leader on the line when everybody's going to assume that he's going to wipe the walls with this other guy. And yet he's doing it, I believe, because he passionately believes in the cause.
CTV News has reached out to Kenney and Wilson for comment. Kenney declined our request. The Federal Public Safety Minister's office says a bill brought forward by 2 local MPs would have undermined the independence of the Parole Board. Brian's bill was named for Edmonton's Brian Elisic. He was killed by his co-worker while refilling a bank machine at the U of A's Hub Mall. The bill would have amended the Federal Corrections Act so convicted murderers cannot apply for a parole review. MP Carrie Diot argued this would save victims' families like the Elisics from repeated trauma. The bill was defeated yesterday. The Public Safety Minister's office says the bill would have raised serious concerns about potential charter rights violations. The Parole Board must stay free of political influence. Dozens of people work behind the scenes when the province responds to natural disasters. CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti has more on how the Emergency Coordination Centre operates.
Staff at the Provincial Emergency Coordination Centre are preparing for whatever disaster Mother Nature throws their way.
We practice those unique situations, so we're nimble and agile and ready to respond.
Alberta, unfortunately somewhat, has been privy to some of the worst natural disasters this country has ever seen.
Staffed 24/7, the Alberta Emergency Management Agency has responded to everything from floods to tornadoes, and more commonly,
recent history has made us, unfortunately, I guess, pretty good at dealing with wildfires.
That includes the record-breaking 2023 wildfires and the 2024 Jasper wildfires that destroyed a third of the town. Climate change has sparked more frequent and intense disasters.
We've pivoted over the recent years to an ability to manage numerous events at the same time, concurrently.
This simulated exercise tests the coordination between government agencies.
We could get a call from Environment Climate Change Canada with some severe weather that's coming. A community could reach out to their field officer.
Steve Lacroix with the Alberta Emergency Management Agency says the centre mimics a beehive with people from every provincial ministry here to help.
It's great to have this wider team that can look at the problem from their own perspectives and bring in potential solutions to problems that we didn't know.
Lacroix says preparedness is key, not just for the agency, but for you. The province says only 20% of people have a household emergency plan.
Each individual should know their risks, where they live. In a perfect world, they would have an emergency kit available. They would know where they would go should something happen.
That way, your family and pets can be ready if something happens. Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Icefields Parkway between Lake Louise and Saskatchewan Crossing has reopened. On Saturday, while Parks Canada was doing avalanche control, an avalanche sent snow onto the road. It covered a 250-meter stretch, in places up to 6 meters deep. Crews have been working all week to clear the snow. The highway reopened this afternoon. It is single-lane alternating traffic near the slide. There's also a no-stopping zone along that stretch. A new derelict tax subclass could soon raise property taxes on commercial and industrial properties that have fallen into disrepair. City Council's Executive Committee heard from people who live and work in the Alberta Avenue neighborhood about the dangers neglected properties can have. They say the buildings hurt nearby businesses and come with safety and fire risks. A derelict tax subclass on the residential side already allows the city to charge property owners up to 3 times the normal property tax rate. The financial pressure can motivate a sale or renovations. The city's assessor says adding a non-residential subclass would build on that successful program.
We have got a lot of interest and excitement from jurisdictions, both local and international, seeing the implementation of this subclass as a real success. It hasn't been without its challenges.
The city is in the process of updating its taxation and assessment software. It says the non-residential derelict designation could be implemented by 2030. Staff are also exploring options to address vacant properties of all kinds. Alberta home builders are getting creative to encourage people to take the leap into home ownership. One is offering to cover mortgage payments for a year. Nicole Weisberg has more on what this may indicate about our housing market.
Edmonton has seen back-to-back years of record home builds. While construction has been full steam, sales are starting to slow.
Well, we have seen a shift in our market. So our inventory levels right now are about 30% higher than we were last year. And the last time that I checked, about 30% of our current listings on MLS right now are new builds.
The change is prompting some home builders to offer new incentives. Mattamy Homes says it will cover the first 12 months of mortgage payments up to $4,100 a month for buying with it in certain neighborhoods.
And I think initiatives like the mortgage incentive idea is really a pragmatic way for us to help people overcome whatever concerns there are that's stopping them from getting off the fence.
Everything you can think of and need is included.
Jamin Homes is another builder trying to entice buyers. It recently upped the included features for its homes, adding a washer and dryer, front landscaping, and blinds.
This is a normalizing market. So it's a shift from what was a seller's market last year to now a balanced market. We're not at a buyer's market yet.
And the Realtors Association of Edmonton doesn't believe it will shift to that, at least this year. It points to Edmonton's relative affordability for homes and continuing interprovincial migration.
The slower paced market is actually great for buyers because it gives them a little more time to think, to choose, to do their due diligence, make sure they're doing home inspections, which last year we saw a lot of people skipping that because you're competing in multiple offers.
Meaning builders, sellers, and the like may have to adapt and find new ways to gain business. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The values of recreational properties are expected to go up in Alberta this year. A report from Royal LePage shows recreational homes in the province will rise 2.5% this year. Last year, the median price of an Alberta recreational property was $860,000. Royal LePage says the Buy Canadian movement is affecting the recreational property market, with many Canadians planning to sell their properties in the United States. This year's version of the Edmonton Home and Garden Show just rolled out the welcome mat. The Home and Garden Show opened this morning. It features more than 400 vendors and takes up 5 halls at the Edmonton Expo Centre. It includes head-to-head landscape competitions, the chance to learn pickleball from a pro, and the big draw, longtime at TV renovation host Brian and Sarah Baumler.
Edmonton loves Brian, and to have Sarah accompany him as well. It's been a while since she's been here, so to be able to see the couple in person together is so exciting, and they love to just see that banter that they have together.
This year's Home and Garden Show runs until Sunday night. With just 1 point separating them in the standings, the Oilers play a pivotal game against the Vegas Golden Knights tonight.
Every game at this point is crucial, and divisional especially. Every point matters, and such a tight race. You got to take advantage of these matchups to create that separation.
You want to get your feet wet in intense games and make sure that you're coming out on top of those and ride that into playoffs.
The Oilers would like to extend their lead over the Knights in the Pacific Division. This is their 3rd of 4 meetings this season, with the Oilers coming out on top in the previous 2 games. Head coach Chris Knobloch wants his team to play the way they did against the Utah Mammoth on Tuesday.
I think a lot of things that we did the other night in Utah wasn't fancy, wasn't sexy. It was just simple hockey. All the players were engaged. They worked hard. Their shifts were short, limited their mistakes, and we got to play that brand of hockey.
Knobloch says Connor Ingram will start in goal. Tonight's game begins at 7:30. The Edmonton Oil Kings say they're ready for round 1 of the WHL playoffs. The team has practice today ahead of Game 1 against the Saskatoon Blades tomorrow. The Oil Kings finished third in the Eastern Conference. Saskatoon was sixth. The Oil Kings hope starting the series on home ice will give them an advantage.
No building's quite like Rogers, so being able to play there in front of the hometown crowd, it's a huge advantage.
Obviously, I think the atmosphere is going to be great. I think our players are excited about the way the crowds have continued to grow and get bigger and bigger, and it's a great opportunity with the series starting at home to build momentum and move forward.
Game 1 starts tomorrow at 7 p.m. Game 2 is Sunday at 2. A beloved central Alberta tourist attraction has received a clean bill of health. An engineering report on Tyra the Tyrannosaurus says the Drumheller attraction is safe, stable, and ready to welcome visitors. The report says some repairs are needed with an estimated cost of about $154,000. Ongoing maintenance costs will also be needed. The Drumheller Chamber of Commerce was going to dismantle the dino in 2029. Public outcry led to the structural assessment. The Chamber says it welcomes funded proposals about how to keep Tyra from extinction beyond 2029. That was a fine December day out there today, Josh.
You liked a little bit of sunshine earlier in the afternoon. Yeah, I mean, it felt if you walked around outside sort of mid-afternoon, it felt a lot warmer than it was reading on thermometers. We only got to -8 for a daytime high today, but sun was nice. This goes to show you the increasing strength of the sun now that we're into spring and the sun's getting a little higher in the sky. -10 currently in Edmonton. It's -9 south of the city, but -11 and -12 off to the north. 5 degrees is the average high for this time of year. We were a handful of degrees above zero on Monday, and then this cooler air sunk in. I think today's the end of that cold spell. We should be back slightly above zero tomorrow afternoon. Should see a little more sunshine tomorrow as well. This is what it looks like right now, though. There's a bit of sun breaking through the clouds. You look through the lens of the CTV drones, brought to you by Century Casinos. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Clouds have kind of been in and out over the last hour or two, but they are clearing now. Further to the south, we've got some flurries there, south of Wetaskiwin, just off to the southwest of Red Deer. No snow tonight here in the Edmonton area. Just a few clouds through this evening, and then some clear skies overnight tonight. There is another system, though, that's going to bring some snow to northwestern Alberta tomorrow. So out ahead of that, we get to about 2 degrees. And then Saturday, could see some flurries in the morning, and cooler air drops back in for Saturday afternoon. We'll tell you how much cooler in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, a warning for newly engaged couples.
As part of our signed contract, she requested a credit card to have on file, which I thought was a little bit unorthodox.
The Edmonton couple sharing red flags when planning a wedding.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Two Edmonton couples say planning their dream day turned into a nightmare because of their wedding planner. Both couples are now suing her and her company. Nerman Issa has their story and their warning to others.
We haven't 100% picked, but we are going for these two.
Cassia Shar and Troy Murphy are in the middle of wedding planning, picking their color scheme and filing a lawsuit.
It's off to a different start than we had planned. I don't think anybody wants to come into the new year dealing with a lawsuit.
The couple is getting married in November. Last August, they hired Loveneet Tobin, a wedding planner who owns Simply Perfect Events.
As part of our signed contract, she requested a credit card to have on file, which I thought was a little bit unorthodox.
They say the first red flag was when they were charged for a DJ they didn't hire. They say Tobin said it was a mistake and that she would refund them. The couple says she paid back less than half. They then got a receipt from Tobin for the venue's deposit. However,
the venue contacted us and just followed up. Hey, are you still wanting to book? We still have your date saved, but we haven't heard anything from you. And so then, of course, we were very concerned because we sent close to $3,000.
The situation came to a head when a handful of vendors told the couple they would not work with Tobin. That's when they heard from other couples, also unhappy with the wedding planner.
I don't want people's wedding day to turn out like mine. I spent 2 hours at my head table bawling my eyes out.
Sam Machado and Cole Hopper were married last October. They hired Tobin to plan it. They say their deposits never made it to their DJ or caterer, and the decorations they decided on were not what was on display.
Just a whole bunch more excuses of like something in her family or something she's going through, or sickness and car problems, or she had every excuse in the book.
CTV News reached out to Tobin both in person and over the phone.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
In a text message, Tobin declined CTV's request for an interview. She also denied the allegations. She says Simply Perfect Events has been shut down. Both couples are now suing Tobin for thousands of dollars they say they are owed. One couple has filed a police report. We spoke to RCMP about filing a police report on situations such as these, and it says that a breach of contract investigation is more complex. Basically, if a business failed or performed its services poorly, that's more of a civil case. Now, if it aimed to deceive or take money, that is a criminal case.
We kind of are wanting to just kind of warn people in general, like when you are planning a wedding, don't give your credit card information to people.
They hope by sharing their experience, it serves as a warning to other couples on their way to a happily ever after ending. Nair Nisa, CTV News, Edmonton.
Coming up, a home run for local baseball.
Last season we had 150,000, so that's a pretty incredible growth.
Significant activity and growth for leagues across the Edmonton area. What it means for those looking to sign up.
A nice mild and melty day on the way for tomorrow. Should see a bit of sunshine and temperatures a couple of degrees above zero. But after that, it's back below zero for daytime highs. All those details right after the break. Time for our annual reminder that just because it's spring doesn't mean we're done with snow by a long shot. Certainly January, snowiest month on average in Edmonton. But look at the second and third place, November and March, with both about 20 centimeters worth of snow. Look at December gets on average 15. In April, we get almost on average as much snow as we do in December. In fact, if you combine November and December, that's pretty close to the snowfall totals we see in March and April. Fewer days with snow, but almost as much snow. Well, of course, even in May, on average, we get about 5 centimeters. So spring snow is a thing.
Weather Watchers brought to you by the Alberta Teachers Association. Strong schools equal a strong Alberta.
With baseball season only weeks away, some players are struggling to find a team close to home. Local registration numbers have skyrocketed after the Blue Jays' trip to the World Series. A home run for the sport, but tough on players and families still trying to sign up. Evan Kenny reports.
Snow sucks. I know it's March. It's still happening.
In Alberta, it may look like the middle of winter, but elsewhere, the boys of summer are back. And soon, local players will meet at ball diamonds around our region.
I think the Jays, of course, helps getting people more excited about baseball.
Jess Jackson with 100.3 The Bear knows how excited people are to play. She tried to sign her son up, but the local team was already full before the registration period even ended.
I remember when you guys were talking about the fact that it was going to be more interest because of how the Blue Jays were doing, but I didn't think it would be this much.
St. Albert Minor Baseball tells me its U7 and U9 divisions are completely full, and it had to put people like the Jackson family on a wait list.
I was shocked because I know in years past they've sometimes struggled to get enough teams, and now completely full.
Other people in Edmonton's baseball world aren't shocked. The Edmonton Riverhawks have watched excitement around the game grow over its 5 years.
Year one, we had maybe 60,000 fans come through the doors for the whole summer, and last season we had 150,000. So that's a pretty incredible growth.
In the last 3-4 years too, just the level of players that we have going down to the States and playing college baseball, JUCO, NCAA, the guys that we have on our roster that are locally from Edmonton or Alberta area, those are the ones that are really cool stories to watch.
For future Riverhawks or even Blue Jays looking to play this year, most minor baseball associations are still accepting players until April 1st. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
Mild and melty. I liked how you put that. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, it was already a little sloppy out on roadways today with the sunshine, and it was -8. Imagine tomorrow at +2 with a bit of sunshine. River Valley Sky Cams brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed Rider, it's free. We're at -10 in downtown Edmonton right now. Feels more like about -15. There's a little bit of a breeze. -8 in Edmonton and Red Deer for daytime highs today. Jasper, one of the warmest spots in the province, at 3 degrees. He had double digits, though, off to the east and north of Edmonton. Daytime highs in the -10 to -15 range. There's your clearing here in Edmonton. Further to the south, you've got some cloud cover. It looks like the flurries have slipped just off to the south of the Red Deer region now. Those will continue to move southeast. Here's the clearing that will stay in for the rest of this evening and overnight tonight. And then tomorrow, partly cloudy skies. That next system that we were talking about earlier in the newscast, there's the snow that it brings tomorrow morning, mainly north of Grand Prairie. It looks like Peace River and west. Could see a couple centimeters of snow in through those regions. Through the afternoon, that drops south. That's developing low or cold front in behind this low pressure system. Out ahead of it, from Edmonton south, you get a kick of some warm air. But as this cold front sweeps off to the southeast, I don't think this is really heavy snow for Edmonton, but we'll get some light snow or some flurries to start the day. Northeastern Alberta and back further to the west, that actually could be a couple centimeters there early in the day Saturday. The big story for us is after that chance of flurries and behind the cold front, there's the return of some cooler air coming back out of the north. So here was today. This is what tomorrow looks like from around Highway 16, just north as well into the Whitecourt region and south. Temperatures should be above 0, still below 0 by several degrees across the north. Watch that green zone drop all the way to the south, though, for Saturday. As we get back a degree or 3 below 0 for daytime highs Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. More snow in the forecast for Monday as well. We'll get to that in a moment. It's -10 in Fort McMurray, -13 in Grand Prairie, -8 in Red Deer. Jasper still a couple of degrees above 0. As we said, there is a bit of a breeze out there, so most areas are feeling about 5 or 6 degrees colder. -15 wind chill in Edmonton, in the -20s. In through northwestern sections of the province. Our lowest temperature should come somewhere around midnight tonight. I think after midnight, temperatures actually start to climb. So partly cloudy through this evening, -15, and then -12 by tomorrow morning. Wind stays light through the day, about 5 to 10 kilometers per hour, and by 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we should be a degree or 2 above 0. Back below 0, though. After that, -3 on Saturday. There's your chance of some flurries or light snow in the morning. Cloudy with a few sunny breaks in the afternoon. Mostly cloudy for Sunday, high of -2. Sunday evening could see some flurries. And Monday, that could be a couple centimeters worth of snow. After Monday, things start to turn a little bit. Not all that quickly, but it does look like we're back a degree or 2 above 0 for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And maybe some more snow Thursday of next week. And then, right around that Easter weekend, finally, it looks like temperatures will stabilize a little bit and get back closer to average.
Thank you, Josh. Still ahead, Canada hits a milestone we've missed since before the Cold War.
For too long, European allies and Canada were over-reliant on U.S. military might.
Record defense spending and...
When I got off the bike, actually, I fell to the floor. My legs buckled beneath me.
A workout-related condition on the rise in Atlantic Canada.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law. Programming brought to you by Century Casino, 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
For the first time since the Cold War, Canada has hit its target of spending 2% of gross domestic product on defense. The benchmark set by NATO amounts to more than $60 billion a year. As CTV's Judy Trin reports, it's an increase expected to transform our armed forces.
After touring a warship, the Prime Minister announced that Canada had taken aim at a NATO target and hit its mark.
In 10 months, we have invested over $60 billion in our defense and security. And as a result of these efforts, this morning, NATO confirmed that Canada has achieved its 2% defense expenditure target.
Getting from 1% to 2% has taken 12 years. Progress has been slow until Carney's investment surge in 2025. For the first time, all 32 NATO members have reached the 2% target.
For too long, European allies and Canada were over-reliant on US military might.
The 2% pledge was first made in 2014. Conservative Prime Minister Stephen Harper didn't want to do it.
I'm certainly not going to spend on a massive military expansion just for the sake of doing so.
Under former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Canada was called out on the international stage.
Talk about riding on America's coattails. They have the safety and security of being on our border.
Movement didn't happen until the biggest player in the alliance uttered threats.
And they said, if you don't pay your bills, we're not going to participate, we're not going to protect you.
Canada may have spent more than $60 billion on defense in 2025, but the military is still short about 15,000 soldiers, and from jets to ships to submarines, half of the equipment isn't working.
We are still waiting for new submarines. We are still waiting for new tanks and other armored vehicles for our Army. And we are still a long way from having new warships.
The overall readiness, the ability of the military to actually conduct a military operation or go to war is at a multi-generational low point right now.
Going forward, Canada and other NATO members are committing to spending 5% of GDP on defense by 2035. For Canada, that means spending $150 billion annually. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
As the U.S. and Iran offer conflicting claims on peace talks and diplomacy, the violence in the Middle East continues. Israel says it has killed a key Iranian Navy commander. Israel's defense minister says the commander was, quote, directly responsible for the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hailed the killing as another example of cooperation with the U.S. Meanwhile, Iran launched waves of missile strikes at Israel, including this one near Tel Aviv. The impact sent a vehicle tumbling through the air. At least 5 people were injured in the attacks. At a U.S. cabinet meeting, Donald Trump urged Iran to make a deal or the U.S. will, quote, keep blowing them away. Ahead of the LA Summer Games, the International Olympic Committee is banning transgender women athletes from competing. The new policy aligns with Donald Trump's executive order on women's sports. The IOC says eligibility for any women's event at the Olympics will be limited to biological females determined by a one-time genetic screening. The new policy will apply to the LA Summer Olympics in 2028. It's unclear how many transgender women, if any, are competing at the Olympic level. There were none at the 2024 Paris Summer Games. Health officials in Newfoundland are warning of the risks of extreme workouts after a spike in hospitalizations from a rare and potentially life-threatening condition. It's called rhabdomyolysis, or rhabdo, and it occurs when muscle tissue is damaged, releasing harmful proteins into the blood. CTV's Garrett Berry reports.
With just weeks to go, 27-year-old Kyra Fancy should be focusing on her July wedding. But recent warnings of sudden increases in rhabdomyolysis cases
It was a traumatic experience, to say the least.
Have brought back awful memories.
When I got off the bike, actually, I fell to the floor, my legs buckled beneath me.
Her first spin class, December 2023, trying to blow off some exam season stress. She had been introduced to everybody by the instructors and didn't want to fall behind.
I was embarrassed and I was like, I can't stop. So I just forced myself because I was like, the worst thing that could happen is I'm just going to tear my muscles, you know.
What followed? 5 days of intense pain. When the pain didn't go away and she did go to the hospital, she stayed there for almost a week.
I was in utter shock because I literally did a spin class and I couldn't understand how that led to me possibly like dying, is how he was saying it.
This kind of exercise-induced rhabdomyolysis is what doctors are seeing more and more in Newfoundland and Labrador, and health officials say the majority of those recent cases have been found in young women.
It's absolutely avoidable. Yeah, it shouldn't happen. And all the research that leads to rhabdo in the fitness scene usually leads to finding a look at that programming and how it was delivered.
Spin classes have been put under the microscope since the health warning was issued. Jill Whalen, coach and owner of Elevate Movement Club, says classes can and should be delivered safely with trained coaches.
The reason why, for example, this room for spin is laid out the way it is so that the coach can make contact with every single individual in the room. And we went through months and months of training before we ever opened our doors.
She says both coaches and participants should be doing more to ensure everybody is safe. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
Coming up, a big tobacco moment for big tech.
They target adolescents because they know that their brains aren't fully developed.
Some are calling a guilty verdict against Meta and YouTube a wake-up call for the industry. Also ahead.
He's doing a private tasting and then he'll be on the showroom floor.
Where you can catch an in-person glimpse of Scream star Matthew Lillard this weekend. Looking at the markets, the Canadian dollar holding steady near 72 cents U.S. Oil up $4.16, closing at $94.48 a barrel. Gold lost $176. The TSX and Dow Jones both plummeted, ending the day down 495 and 469 points, respectively. A Dutch court has ordered Elon Musk's XAI and its chatbot Grok not to create or distribute sexualized images of people without their consent. It's one of the first times a judge has weighed in on XAI's responsibility for building tools that can be used to create these images. The court decision includes fines of 100,000 euros per day if the company doesn't comply. The civil case was brought by a Dutch nonprofit that fights online sexual abuse. This week's landmark social media addiction trial in California is expected to unleash a flood of lawsuits aimed at big tech. A jury found Meta and YouTube purposely designed their products to hook young users. CTV's Heather Wright has more on what's being described as a wake-up call for the industry.
A damning verdict with global implications. A Los Angeles jury ruling Wednesday that two of the world's most popular apps, Instagram and YouTube, are deliberately addictive, designed to hook young users and keep them scrolling. Experts are calling it a big tobacco moment for big tech.
The cigarette companies, it came out, targeted young people, knowing that that's how they got their lifetime customers. And virtually the identical documents have emerged from social media companies. They target adolescents because they know that their brains aren't fully developed.
Both Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, as well as YouTube, have been ordered to pay $6 million US to the victim in this case, who says the platforms left her with body dysmorphia, depression, and suicidal thoughts. The companies plan to appeal, but the ruling is giving hope to those who have been pushing for change in how these companies operate.
We've been talking about for years the idea that consequences eventually catch up with everyone.
Frances Haugen is a former product manager at Facebook who blew the whistle on the company, saying it chooses profit over safety. With hundreds of similar cases working through the courts, Haugen says tech companies could ultimately be on the hook for billions of dollars.
I think it's going to be a wake-up call for tech companies that they need to think about their internal governance processes and make sure that they have the checks and balances in place, that they don't just go for the quick buck.
Among the lawsuits filed against tech companies is one here in Ontario, where several school boards have sued Meta, Snap, and TikTok, accusing the apps of being psychologically manipulative. While the U.S. verdict will not impact any litigation here, it is a sign, experts say, that the conversation is changing. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A Hollywood actor will be in Red Deer this weekend. Matthew Lillard will be promoting his own whiskey at the Alberta Food and Beverage Expo.
He is coming, and this is really cool. I mean, I think Scream 7 is still in the movie theaters right now, and he's going to be at Westerner Park on Saturday. He's doing a private tasting, and then he'll be on the showroom floor.
Aside from Scream, Lillard has starred in Scooby-Doo, Hackers, and She's All That. He'll be one of the more than 120 restaurants and vendors serving up the latest in food and drink. Organizers say last year's show saw record attendance, and it's a great way for businesses to connect with customers.
It's liquid to lips, product to lips, meeting your customers face to face. You can't get better marketing than that. And if you're tackling the show the right way, we've had restaurants that have given us letters saying that we saved their business.
The expo runs Saturday from 4 until 10 p.m. Tickets can be found on the Alberta Food and Beverage Expo's website. Proceeds from this year's show will be donated to Tour Alberta for Cancer. Still to come, gaining steam.
I think that other girls, they should
look into the tech world, see where they belong.
Now, a hacker gal is encouraging more girls and gender-diverse youth to explore science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk.
Friday on your morning, a third of Canada's jobs are blue collar, and many of us would struggle to jump in. A comedian tries his hand at several. We'll ask him how it went and which gave him the most grief. We'll see you at 6.
A national group called Hacker Gal is focused on closing the gender gap in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. It's helping more girls and gender-diverse students see their potential in typically male-dominated fields. CTV's Kevin Fleming reports.
She's been interested in science since she was in grade 5. Now at 16 years old, Yusra Hashmi leads a club for other girls and gender-diverse students at her school. She's sharing her passion and hopefully inspiring others to get involved in STEAM activities.
Recently, I've discovered something called as bioinformatics, which is basically biology, chemistry, combined with computer science. So I think that's really cool because I love coding and I also love science.
Hashmi is a Hacker Girl ambassador. The school clubs found across the country create a welcoming space for girls interested in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
I think that other girls, they should look into the tech world, see where they belong.
Hacker Gal says it's important to start in STEAM activities at a young age.
Late primary, early high school is where we start to see folks lose the interest or start to feel like, you know, I'm the only girl in my computer science class. This doesn't feel great.
Erin Westbrook says the ambassador program is run by students for their peers in grades 6 to 12.
The leadership is so critical because then you're thinking of like who's writing policy, who's influencing decision making, who's leading, who's starting up the CEOs, and that's what we'd love to encourage all of our students is to dream big.
Aliza Habib hosts lunchtime meetings at her school.
In like the first 20-ish minutes, I just tell them what we're gonna do, how we're gonna start this off, and then I just let them code. And then if they need help, they'll call me over, and then I'll help them.
Habib loves science and doing experiments. She's not sure she wants to pursue a STEAM-related career yet, but knows she can if she wants to.
If you put your mind to anyone, no matter what you are, you can do anything.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
All right, warming up a little and then cold again.
Yeah, one nice, warm, melty day tomorrow, and then we'll wait till the end of next week before it consistently gets back above the freezing mark. 2 degrees for a daytime high tomorrow, partly cloudy skies and light wind. Nice to see some sunshine tomorrow to go along with those warmer temperatures. -2, -3 range for highs Saturday, Sunday, Monday. More snow, too. Chance of some flurries Saturday morning. I think Monday's the best chance of those 3 days to see a couple centimeters worth of snow. And then Easter weekend, things start to turn around. That's actually a chance of rain, not snow, on April 4th. Not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. So a little bit of patience, and these cooler than average temperatures will finally be out the back door.
All right. Thank you, Josh, and thanks for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, check out our website, ctvnewsedmonton.ca. Almost got it.
Yeah, that was close. I wasn't going to mention it.